What's good, Shank family? This your guy Kev, aka Shanky and T, back again here with another video. I want to apologize if you were on my live just about 5, 10 minutes ago. I just want to sincerely apologize. Had to take care of some family things that were important, family emergency. But I apologize for that for getting cut off. Um, Got to get my mind back right. But today's video, if you haven't joined the last live, pretty much breaking down what quarterback I feel like is going to start for Colorado this upcoming season. Out of Kaden Salter, who is the vet, and JuJu Lewis, who's the incoming freshman for this season. Kind of want to just break down uh, what I have written down as far as what I feel like their strengths are and why I feel like they can, essentially become the starting quarterback QB1 for this program this upcoming season. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the veteran, as of course first. So I had Kaden Salter. So as we know, he has a ton of experience. Played at Liberty. Wasn't the best team that he played for, but he still did, made some things shake over there. So um, Kaden Salter, he's got experience, like I said. Started basically every single game at Liberty. He knows how to run a college offense. He's had this is his fifth year, I believe, in college football. So he knows how to run an offense effectively. Now, how is he going to adapt to Colorado's scheme and offense? I don't know yet because I don't even know what Colorado's scheme is going to be this season. I know we are implementing on running the ball effectively this upcoming season. So um, and I know he has big shoes to fill as well with Shador not being here anymore, headed over to the Cleveland Browns. Anyway, last year he threw for about 2,400 yards with a 61% completion rate, which is pretty good. Uh, that's solid overall. He tossed 17 TDs, only 6 picks, so some of us might hear 6 picks and go like, "Oh yeah, he's trash," but nah, 6 picks is actually not really that bad. There's quarterbacks out there who had way many more picks. They had about 9, 10, 11 picks, so it's not doing too bad. On top of that, he's a runner. So as you know, I just talked to you guys about running the ball effectively. So him being here in this position is going to help Colorado's offense tremendously, especially with the running game because he's mobile. He can throw the ball. I'm hearing a lot of arguments saying that Kaden Salter is not a good passer, and it's crazy because you look at his stats. When you look at just looking at the film, like you can clearly see that he's a quarterback that has accuracy. He has an arm on him, like literally, he has an arm on him. But back to rushing. So we have a quarterback who can roll out and rush. Shador, we look at a quarterback like Shador. Shador, he wasn't really a fast as mobile quarterback. He just knew how to move around in the pocket. He had to learn how to do that. If not, the offensive line for the past 2 years for the Colorado Bucks wasn't the best. So he kind of had to learn how to maneuver and move around in the pocket a little bit. Um, but we have somebody like Salter who can kind of have that burst out speed and like really take off. He's not taking off for no 10 yards, 15 yards. He might take off for like 30, 40 yards. That's just how Kaden Salter is. Um, so 400 yards plus on the ground. He's the kind of guy who can manage the game very, very well. From the film that I watched in Liberty last season, like I said, it wasn't the best team when he was there. However, when you look at him and how he stepped up as a leader and some of the plays that he was able to make out of nothing, whether it was him using his legs or just throwing dots, um, definitely shows you that he can manage the game and keeping drives alive. He doesn't make a lot of dumb mistakes. So as a quarterback, you really can't make a lot of dumb mistakes because essentially you're the leader of the team. Um, and the more mistakes you make, it'll kind of trickle down to the other positions. I don't know how that happens. It just happens that way. Um, Also, this is a very key point I wanted to point out is when you need control of the clock, he knows how to do that. Um, Something I realized that a lot of programs struggle with, and even Colorado has struggled with at a point in time, is basically, in a sense, finessing the time clock in a way to work to your advantage. Um, you know, kind of making sure that the other team stays off the field as long as possible. So we have more of possession to kind of do what we need to do and get them off of the field as well on the defensive side. Let's talk about JuJu though. So JuJu, he's a playmaker. Like I said, he's an incoming freshman. But if you look at him, you see how he plays, you will think that he would have been in college, by now. Obviously, still some room to grow and learn, of course, as with any quarterback or player. But I will say JuJu was he's kind of ahead of his age group in a sense. JuJu's raw, but he has insane upside. 5-star recruit, um, with 9,000 plus yards and 100 plus TDs throughout his high school career, which is impressive. Like I said, he's supposed to have been a senior this upcoming season. Ended up leaving high school early and jumping into college right away. This year, he's shown flashes of a big arm. So if you look at some of the well-off media videos, you look at even the spring game. Obviously, like I said, there's still some room for improvement, but he's already ahead of the game for his age, and he can only get better and better and better. And something that I realized, and don't quote me on this, I believe one of the coaches said this too. Whenever you are a leader, you also have to uh, be coachable as well. And I feel like he's coachable. I feel like he's trying to grasp information. Like he's like a sponge right now, soaking and learning everything he possibly can. Um, while he's there coming in early. You have Kaden Salter to look up to. I'm sure he's had some talks with Shador at a point in time. Even the backup quarterbacks that's been there, like Ryan Staub and Ponder, like you have a lot of veterans that you can kind of look up to in a sense. And then I don't know who his quarterback coach is. I seen him working out with him. I believe it was during their break. I'm not exactly sure who he is. So if anybody knows the name of JuJu Lewis, quarterback coach, please let me know in the comment section. Um, Lost my train of thought. But yeah, he has a lot of people that he can kind of learn from and grasp from. He's really, really taking advantage of his opportunity with coming to college early from high school. Um, he also can make runs on the play as well. So he's also a mobile quarterback as well. JuJu Lewis, he's kind of quick. His instincts are really, really good. I want to see how that's going to apply over to the college level because everything's faster. His completion rate is still coming up, sitting at high 50s to low 60s, but he's learning fast. If Coach Prime wants to light up the scoreboard with him and go fast, Juju's a guy for essentially like those big, big plays. So, all right, so we went over that. Now here's my answer, and I'm going to break it down. Feel free to answer in the comment section as well. Now, um, I can see it coming down to a point, and I said this before. I can see it coming down to both quarterbacks playing. So Salter is probably going to start, okay, because he's more of a veteran. But I also feel like Juju's going to get some playing time as well. And how that can look is, let's just say, figuratively speaking, Colorado is up on the team by a lot, and we'll put Juju in for a little bit. Let's give him some experience. I see that happening. I see, depending upon the type of play they call, will determine whether or not Kaden Salter or JuJu Lewis is in. But even Prom said it as well. He don't even know who the starting quarterback is going to be yet. You know what I mean? Like they're both that good to the point where they have options. Having options is not always a bad thing. When you're talking about relationship and stuff like that, I mean, it's obviously a bad thing. But in a in terms of a program where you have athletes that are sharpening each other and who has certain level of experiences and played on certain levels, you kind of have a little bit more to work with in a sense. And they have a good problem in their hands. And like Coach Prom said, you can't lose with either one of them. Literally. If Salter play, I feel like it's going to be good. If JuJu Lewis play, I feel like it's going to be good too. But however, I know Kaden Salter didn't come here to just come here. You know what I mean? Folks, I know he didn't just come here to just sit. So that's why I feel like Salter is definitely going to start off the season. Whether Juju Lewis gets in or not is totally up to him, and the coaching staff as well to figure out if he's ready. Like you never want to throw somebody out there and they're not ready, especially in the college level. Throw them out there if they're not ready. They don't know the playbook. Um, you risk them getting hurt. You risk them getting embarrassed. Now their stock drops a little bit, and it kind of hurts them in the long run. But however, this isn't me saying that. Yes, it's a battle. This is a QB battle, but with good intention. Like I said before, not too long ago, they're sharpening each other's skills and making each other better at the end of the day. All right, let's talk about why this battle matters, though. So, healthy quarterback competition is great football. Great football, not good football, but great football. Keeps both guys sharp. Coach Prime can pick and choose who fits each game. So when you go into different games, you have to plan accordingly. You have to fit into the scheme of things, and you have to approach each team a different way. So a lot of that is going to have to do with the quarterback, and you know I even said depth as well at the quarterback means is ready for anything, injuries, bad games, whatever. So having quarterbacks that have a certain level of experience and who can play of a certain caliber, uh, it's kind of like I'm sure some of y'all grandmas has probably said that. But I know my grandma said this. You kind of want to be ready before you have to get ready, in a sense. If that makes sense to y'all. So that's what I feel like is going on here for Colorado. Um, and I feel like it's a smart um, approach for their program for the future. And this is also going to help Juju become an even better quarterback than what he's currently is. Because when you look at the future for Colorado, I feel like Colorado is progressively getting better and better and better. And when you look at the 2026 recruiting as of right now, yeah, it might not be every single 5-star and 4-star that we want right now, but you don't know how that can change around. You don't know how Juju Lewis playing this season could help out recruiting. Because, okay, you got to recruit. Let's say I'm going to recruit and I'm coming to school for a visit and I'm looking at, let's say I'm a wide receiver and I'm coming and I'm saying, who's going to be my quarterback for the next 3 to 4 years? And I come to a school and my quarterback, who's a freshman, is playing because Prime likes to start freshmen as well. Um, and let's say I look and see how he does this year and he flourishes. Okay, now I see the vision. Now I see where this program is going. My quarterback is like that. I want that quarterback to throw to me. You know what I mean? I want to build chemistry with this quarterback. So, um, let's talk about game plan fit. So if you're playing physical, tough defense, Salter's ready to Salter's steady and smart. If you want to run a fast-paced, explosive offense, Juju Lewis bring dynamic plays. Uh, and then, like I said, Coach Palm might mix and match depending upon the situation as well. So we also have a battle right now of experience and potential. So obviously, Kaden Salter is the experience, and Juju Lewis is the potential. Now, um, we can flop the two as well. Hear me out. Just hear me out. Juju Lewis has experience as well on the high school level. Because when you talk about Georgia football has higher caliber players. I played in Georgia myself, so I know from experience. Kaden Salter also has the potential to be something great as well in a better, more equipped program. If that makes sense. Salter's proven he can win games now. Juju got the tools to be a star in the future. Both are valuable, though. Don't get me wrong, both are valuable. It's not about hating on one. It's about what helps the team the most. So yeah, people gotta get out of this mindset of this is a toxic environment between the quarterbacks. Like I said, they're sharpening each other to get each other to the next level, essentially. Um, so what is Coach Prime's role in all this? What does Coach Prime really say? What is his mindset? Okay, he's told y'all if you watch the media day interviews, he kind of broke down some stuff on his mindset as far as the two quarterbacks. And I already said it in the beginning of the video, but Coach Prime is known for pushing quarterbacks to complete hard. To compete hard, focus on character, and using what they do best. So both of these quarterbacks, Coach Prime is going to try his best to work with their strengths, okay, and also build up their weaknesses as well to get them to be uh, the quarterbacks that they need to be to compete to be on the next level. And I already talked about what Kaden Salter's strengths and weaknesses are. I already talked about what JuJu Lewis's strengths and weaknesses are. And you know, I feel like Coach Prime is a genius for bringing them both in as quarterbacks and learning from each other because where one is weak, one is strong, or where one is strong, one is weak. They kind of can kind of balance off each other, um, and push each other a little bit. Now let's talk about Pat Shermer though. I know they want to utilize tight ends a little bit more. They have a stacked wide receiver room, so the wide receiver room is going to play a huge factor when it comes to all of this because they have to have somebody to throw the ball to. You have Sincere Brown, you have the Draylon Millers, you have the Amarion Millers, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Now, I love this wide receiver room. This wide receiver room is very, very talented. Okay. Um, when you look at some of their stats from last season, outside of Sincere Brown, they aren't like crazy high. They're like 1,000 yard receivers, but they are solid receivers who have the potential to be 1,000 yard wide receivers. And you know, I'm really I'm having faith in this room more than some fans would like. But I don't want to jump the gun too much. But I know Juju Lewis and Kaden Salter has to have wide receivers, good wide receivers to throw the ball to at the end of the day. And um, that's all going to come down to what wide receivers Pat Shermer trusts the most to get out there on the field. So we brought in some more wide receivers. Like when you look at Hakeem Williams, he's a different type of wide receiver. He's more of a big body wide receiver. How are you going to implement that as well? What type of weapons do you have? Are you going to have to run the ball a little bit more? How is your offensive line going to look? Are they going to be able to pass block effectively? Are they going to be able to run block effectively? Like, it's so many factors that's going to come into how these quarterbacks perform and how are they going to be used towards their strengths for this future of this program. But to end it off, in a nutshell, I think Kaden Salter is going to start the season off, but I do think Juju Lewis is going to end up seeing the field at some point throughout the season, on and off, just get them that experience to get those jitters out. When you're a freshman going to the collegiate level and you're in front of a bigger crowd, louder fans, a more higher depth fan base. Colorado is a lot of eyes and attention and cameras on you, so a little bit more pressure. And then you already have an expectation of being a 4 or 5 star. They're going to expect you to come and ball out as it is. You know what I mean? We look at Kaden Salter. They're going to expect you to come and fill the void that Shador was last season. Kaden Salter would never be Shador. You know what I mean? Juju Lewis would never be Shador. There are two different types of quarterbacks. Three different types of quarterbacks, my bad. You know, it's about how can they be the best version of themselves. So I'm not really big into comparing them to previous quarterbacks. I just want them to be the best version of themselves, be the best leaders that they can be, and also just be the best men that they can be outside of football as well. And really, really be those vocal leaders when needed. Hold your teammates accountable. Be that example. And really, really dig into that playbook. I love how the team chemistry has been. That's a big factor as well. What is your chemistry like with your tight ends? What is your chemistry like with your running backs and wide receivers? You know, I love how they're working out, and they're not the only team who's doing it. They're not the only team that's doing it. So I'm trying to beat y'all to the punch, or whoever wants to say that. But I will say when they don't have practice, or even after practice, they're running routes. I'm sure they're watching film with each other. They're just they're going out with each other, just building that bond, team chemistry. Like that's plays a big factor as well to how these quarterbacks can perform. Because when we talk about earning trust, you have to earn the trust of your teammates, your players, your coaches, in order to build something. And that's what a lot of these recruits are also looking for as well when they come to a school. Can I trust you to develop me? Can I trust you to fit me into the scheme of your program to help me flourish into what I want to envision myself being? But shout out to both quarterbacks, though. Definitely rooting for y'all both. I know y'all gonna have a fabulous season. Kaden Salter. This is gonna be. You're gonna have to come with it. Come with that chip on your shoulder. I haven't really been hearing a lot of negative things about Colorado like I usually would with the Twitter fingers, X fingers, whatever you want to call it. But they're always looking for something to talk about. They always look for something to talk about. So the best way to shut the outside noise, the outside haters, and as Coach Crown would say, the naysayers out is by doing, by doing. So shout out to both of them. At some point, God blesses me with the opportunity. I would love to get to a game and see it happen in person. If not, I definitely will be rooting for y'all in this living room. In this living room. Just try to be your best not to make my blood pressure go up. Please, man. Please, man. But in the comment section, though, who do y'all feel like was starting? Why? I really, really want to know where you guys' mindsets are as far as these two quarterbacks. Who do you feel like is going to start and why? There's no wrong answer. Every answer is your opinion. As I said, you keep everything respectful to myself and people in the comment section, even if you agree or disagree. But feel free to put that in the comment section as well. Who you feel like will start this upcoming season and why. But that's all I have today. Shorter video. I was expecting my cuz to hop on. I think he ran into some other stuff with the fam, which is all good, all good. I will be back on tomorrow around the same time. I do apologize. I did have some technical difficulties upon getting on, as well as a family emergency. So if you're new to my channel, please make sure you share this channel out for me and subscribe. That does me a huge favor. I'm doing my best in trying to get these videos out to y'all, and I'm doing my best in trying to get uh, this channel up and going. And the only way to do that is with y'all. So if you are a supporter, if you have been tapping it consistently, I really, really do appreciate y'all. Seriously, like it means the world to me. I always wanted to do this. Now I'm doing it. So don't need to elaborate on that. But that's all I got today. Y'all have a blessed rest of y'all night. And yeah, Skull Buffs. I give it to y'all.